It's starting to get to the point where you can no longer ignore cryptocurrency anymore. What started as a for-fun side project for a small group of programmers quickly turned into a movement that a cult following and has now snowballed to the point where national governments are recognizing it as their official currency. What's even more important is that the United States government recently announced that they have no plans to regulate cryptocurrency. It's safe to say that cryptocurrency isn't going anywhere. If you're someone who has avoided the subject for this long, then this is probably a good time to catch you up to speed. I'm about to briefly share everything that you need to know about cryptocurrencies, how they work, whether they're safe or not, and whether or not you should invest in them. As usual, before I jump into it, I just want to ask that you take a moment to hit the like button below. This small gesture on your part gives me good feedback to let me know if I'm creating valuable videos or if I need to step my game up. Also, if you have a video that you'd like to see in the future, please comment below and let me know. What is cryptocurrency? People often use the phrase magic internet money when talking about cryptocurrencies. This is a pretty funny phrase because, well, it's both right and wrong. Cryptocurrency is pretty much just digital cash, so it's true that it's internet money. However, it's definitely not magic. Another way to phrase the term internet money is to say that cryptocurrency is a digital store of value. This is about the time where we need to get a little more existential because we need to ask ourselves, what makes something valuable? The answer is that value only resides where everyone agrees that it resides. A painting by Leonardo da Vinci, everyone agrees that he's a masterful painter, so buying one of his paintings would be quite expensive. A painting by yours truly? Well, nobody thinks that I'm a great painter, so not a lot of people would want to pay for it. Another example of this is actually the dollars in your wallet. Those are just pieces of paper at the end of the day. They don't have any real-world use, and the only reason that they're valuable is because the United States government declared that they have value. You keep dollars in your wallet because you trust that businesses will accept them when you go to buy goods. Since the dollar is the world's strongest currency, it's easy to take it for granted. However, there have been hundreds of other paper currencies that have been created before and fallen out of favor and become worthless. Before the 1970s, you used to be able to exchange dollars for gold. However, those days are long gone. Additionally, even though it's shiny, we need to ask ourselves why gold is considered valuable. It's just a metal that's found in the Earth's surface. There are actually a few reasons why gold is considered more valuable than other metals, but that's a little beyond the scope of today's video, and we're getting a little far away from cryptocurrencies. For the sake of this section, you can think of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a better version of the dollar that lives entirely online. What makes Bitcoin better than the dollar? If Bitcoin is basically just a digital dollar, it begs the question, what's the point of switching to Bitcoin at all? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are three main reasons. First, the total number of Bitcoins that will ever be created is capped at around 21 million. Since more Bitcoins cannot be created, the currency will never suffer from inflation, like dollars do. If you never took economics, inflation is when currencies get less valuable over time due to the government printing more of them. It's essentially the reason that a Coke used to cost 5 cents in the 1950s, but costs about $3 today. The price of Coke hasn't actually gone up. The value of the dollar has gone down. Years from now, a Coke might cost $10 or even more, simply because the value of the US dollar is slowly decreasing. That's something that will never happen with Bitcoin. Second, it's much easier to send money digitally with Bitcoin than it is with the dollar. If you wanted to send $1,000 to someone online, you'd have to wait about 5 to 7 business days for the money to transfer. You'd also have to pay a hefty fee to PayPal, your bank, or whoever else was in charge of sending the payment. These aren't things that you'd have to worry about with Bitcoin. Bitcoin removes the bank, who is just acting as a middleman and collecting a fee. Third, and most importantly, Bitcoin is not controlled by any one person or party. In the United States, the dollar is controlled by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is basically in charge of controlling the entire financial system. This is supposed to make things more stable, but in reality, centralized control just creates more instability. On the other hand, Bitcoin's network is controlled by a huge group of programmers that have no affiliation with each other. In this sense, it's a little bit like how no one single person has control over the internet. This is a great segue into discussing how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies actually work. What is blockchain? All cryptocurrencies in the world are powered by blockchain. Blockchain is a decentralized technology spread across many computers that manage and record transactions. Blockchain requires hundreds of programmers whose job it is to verify the security and transactions that occur on the network. Essentially, there are thousands of programmers out there whose job it is to double-check all crypto transactions and make sure that they are legit. This makes it impossible for anyone to spend their Bitcoins twice or try to scam people. If this team of programmers sees an issue with your transaction, then they will flag it and it won't be processed. This role is referred to as Bitcoin mining. There's no hiring process to become a Bitcoin miner. You just need to buy a special computer and get to work. And as a reward for your service, you're paid in Bitcoins. This also helps maintain the integrity of the network. Since the people who double-check transactions are paid in Bitcoin, they have a big incentive to make sure that the integrity of the Bitcoin network is maintained. If they helped someone commit fraud, then people would lose faith in Bitcoin and the value of the Bitcoin that these miners owned would drop to zero. This is part of the reason why this technology is so secure. To visualize how this system works, let's take a look at a hypothetical situation. Imagine that you're in a classroom of about 100 students. The teacher passes out tests that the whole class took last week. You're expected to grade your own test as the teacher reads off the answers. However, after you grade your own test, you are to pass it to another student who will then review your answers again. After these 2 reviews, you'll hand your test back in so that the teacher can do one final review. The teacher states that if there is no cheating, then you will all get a 5-point bonus. However, if anyone is caught cheating, then the whole class fails. In this scenario, there are a few reasons why it's useless to try and cheat or change your answers. First, any attempt to cheat will be immediately noticed by the next student reviewing your test. This student will alert the teacher because they want to win the 5 bonus points. Second, even if you convince another student to cheat for you, the teacher will notice the mistake during her final review and then fail the entire class. Third, it's better off for you and your classmates to just be truthful so you all get the 5 points. This builds a mutual trust among the students. This is essentially the same type of network integrity that allows Bitcoin to function. The whole system relies on the approval of your peers, who have an incentive to act with integrity. Speaking of networks, this is a great opportunity to bring up my own network that I'm building right here on YouTube. In particular, it's the followers of this channel, who I love interacting with and bouncing ideas off of. If you're interested in becoming a part of my network, be sure to subscribe below and hit that bell notification. That way you're alerted every time I post a new video. Give you a couple seconds there. Boom. All done? Awesome. Thank you. So, with all of that being said, does this mean that Bitcoin is a good investment for you? Should I invest? As I always say on my own channel, investment decisions are very personal. This answer is always going to come down to your own due diligence, risk tolerance, and your personal financial goals. In the long term, Bitcoin was designed to be used as a currency. Therefore, it's not really supposed to be an investment at all. Investing in Bitcoin doesn't really make sense in the same way that investing money in dollars doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, we've also established that Bitcoin is a store of value, which does make it an asset. On top of that, the prices of cryptocurrencies are known for being incredibly volatile. This means that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are definitely assets with the ability to appreciate in value. For this reason, it makes sense to buy them. With that being said, I want to reiterate that the prices of most cryptocurrencies are very, very volatile and can rise by 10, 20, or even 30% in one day. On the flip side, they can also fall by 10, 20, or even 30% in one day. Due to this, you should always use caution when buying cryptocurrency. Make sure that you're only using money that you're comfortable losing, or at least money that you don't need in the immediate future. If you're interested in buying it, there are plenty of places you can start. Some of the most popular exchanges are Coinbase, Binance, and Robinhood. However, you can also download your own Bitcoin wallet, which allows you to hold your Bitcoins directly instead of through an exchange like Coinbase. All right, there you have it. That's just about everything that you need to know about cryptocurrency. If you found this video valuable, please be sure to follow the very first link in the video description below and subscribe to my newsletter. By subscribing, you'll receive my most valuable tips for investing, any potential stock picks that I come across, and more informative content similar to what you've just watched. Most importantly, I don't believe in sending automated emails or spamming my subscribers. Instead, you can trust that each email that I send will be filled to the brim with valuable information that's sure to make you a better investor. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.